And we're back here on Friday Racing, of course, with Keith Fustel. Welcome to Today at the Races, and let's get things kicked off and rolling here in this early pick 5. Of course, let's go ahead and take a look at the track and see what we've got going on.
Sure is nice out today. I'm telling you, look at this.
It is. I'm going to be, Keith, I'm going to be outside this afternoon.
Yeah. You punish me, that's fine. And then you just, just go by yourself outside and enjoy the beautiful weather while I'm cooped upstairs in the press box. That's how you roll. I see. Hey.
I texted you a while back. I'm like, listen, I'm going to be the bad guy, and I'm just going to accept that role. So
we're good.
Yep, devil horn done me, I guess, here for the winter as we start to roll into late autumn, early winter. But let's talk about today.
Yes.
Really nice day, really nice racing, of course, kicking off that early pick 5 with the starter optional 12.5 going a mile on the turf for the girls 3 and up. Scratches in the 5, 8, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Keith, you have the number 1. Princess Giovancia for Liz Merriman, Horacio Caramanos, trying for 2 wins in a row.
Yeah, going to try. Hasn't been seen since August, coming off of a race on a yielding turf course at Penn, but beat a pretty good horse. Beat a horse by the name of a lady out of the blue. This horse came back. It was a Mats runner. I think won an allowance, 74. Comes back again in a 2 other than against the boys and runs a big number. This one's 2 for 2 over this Laurel turf course. I think that's a key, and I like the positional speed that this one's going to bring. Fresh, be able to stalk inside, get some cover. Esperana is going to try to make it 2 for 2 on the turf. Yep. The 6 horse, your top selection. And really, I love the way that she dug in through the stretch last time out. Now, she was on that outer portion of the turf course that day, the 87-foot setting, rail setting, and speed was holding pretty well. But I tell you, I didn't expect her to dig like she did, and she got it done. And she looks like she could be the controlling speed once again this afternoon. I look for the 10-pounding music who's drawing outside. That's 3 straight times now. I think she's been on this outside draw. She's going to have to try to save a little bit of ground. She's got the ability. There goes this. And she's got the ability to kind of draft in. I think she can sustain a stronger run here at the mile distance with Forest Boys, who gets along. But this one right back is solid. Nicolar, we're going to show a video. We both have this one in the mix. You look at these races, and you're looking at a horse like Nicolar that really doesn't have any speed whatsoever, right? And you've got to pass a lot of horses, and you got to get the right kind of trip. Well, this day on the 14th, Maryland Million Day, was able to kind of get through, rode that inside, eased out late. I thought finished up quite willingly. Goes, second off the claim for Hugh McMahon, right back here for a tag. Hasn't won this year. This might be the best time. As I don't know, turf season, we're ending. We'll see what happens. Her best races, obviously, are on the turf.
She's doing that, knocking right on the door, Nicolar. As Keith Fustel goes a 110.46 there in the early pick 5. Keith, let's talk about your early pick 4, though, and let's take a look. Pictures over words. Pictures worth 1,000 words, but also it's worth $13.50 today.
$13.50 today, not too bad. Very affordable. Caught a little bit. Thought we'd get a little bit better profit yesterday. We just couldn't get any of these prices. We're trying.
It's tough.
Just couldn't get it done. 3 deep to get you going. Race 2, 1A Mystic Seaport, the 2 Spicy Margarita, and the 7 Midtown Rose. 3 deep in the 3rd. 2, 3, and 9. I like Candy Arcade in there. We've got a video of that one. 4th race, 3 horses as well with the 1A, 3, and 6. Wrap it up with a single, City Fever. This colt showing some talent here for Trombetta. Coming back, been all over the place, but I think was up at Woodbine last time out. Going to be tough right back here today in race 5 over the Laurel Lawn.
Love it. $13.50 for Keith Fustel in that early pick 4, which is starts off with another starter optional, claiming 20,000. 3/4 of a mile on the dirt for the girls. 3 end up scratching the rail horse in Knowing Glance. So you go with the 1A, who's breaking out of the 7 post in Mystic Seaport. This is, of course, in the barn of, as I'm scrolling, Jamie Ness, Jamie Rodriguez, because he always loved to put in a couple entry and scratch, but new in the barn for Jamie Ness.
Yeah, I think, you look at that voided claim 3 races back. I have to go back and check the reasoning, but this horse has won 3 in a row. Turf or dirt, it doesn't matter. She's razor sharp right now. I just think she's got the right kind of setup in front of her. She's got a rating gear. She showed it last time on the turf. I think brings it right back. I like her positioning here as well. There's just horses to her inside, don't quite have the speed. The other horses, they all kind of seem one-dimensional to me. I can see her drafting back 3 or 4 lengths out of it to the quarter pole, working out an inside-out trip to get it done here at a shorter price in the second.
And let's talk about the 7, who you have in your exacta. Pulling out of the 8 post is Midtown Rose for Michael Moore, Andy Hernandez. They ride at a pretty decent clip together, jockey-trainer combination.
Yeah, you got to like that. And second off, a little bit of a break. And also, one that seems to be hitting back to a good stride for her. And I think she has enough positional speed and stamina to sit and move into this flow and stay around. Will she quite bring that finish the last 16th of a mile? That's going to be the main question mark, because she can make a move into it. She's gritty enough to battle, but I worry about somebody maybe going over the top late, and that being the 1A Mystic Seaport. The 2 Spicy Margarita, she's quick, and she's going turf to dirt. A big number, 2 races back. It's a number that's going to work for this group. You run a 68, right around 70. That, I think, is going to win this race. She's showing the ability to take some heat. She could be possibly the speed of the speed. When she's right, she's real quick. Going to take some heat from Bandits Warrior and Golden Can. So that's it there. Shorter price with the 1A. Maybe that 7 can help enhance that exacta.
Keying in around those.
Yeah.
Sorry, Keith.
That's
Keying in around those 2 horses in the 1A and the 7. 2-5 to wrap up his picks. Race number 3 is the second leg of the early pick 4, claiming 16,000. Going 5.5 on the turf for the girls. 3 and up. Scratch the 4. Big scratch for me. 5, 12 to 16 for those AEs. This is a claiming 16. Never win 2. And let's go ahead and talk about and take a look at your top selection. And Candy Arcade in that last effort out going a mile with Justin Nixon and Sheldon Russell.
Quite a few of these have had a lot of tries to try to get through the 2-in-life condition. Candy Arcade, only 7 races lifetime. First time blinkers last time back in June. Going the mile. Makes an okay 4-wide run here. Far turn, sustaining out there 4 wide, and challenging here to the quarter pole. Just can't quite keep going that last 3/16 of a mile. Flow was good. They really picked it up there in that. I thought that third quarter was solid. Good enough for me here on the turn back of freshening. Justin Nixon, Sheldon Russell, good combo right there. Justin Nixon does very well with his turf runners. Sprinters, he's strong, 25% with an ROI over $3. So this one's going to have that right kind of positional placing to sit and stalk. You're looking at, is there anybody super, super fast in here? Not really. Maybe the 2 is going to go ahead and go. 5.2 has shown that speed in the past, but I don't think Candy Arcade is going to let them get too far away by the time they hit mid-turn.
Especially being on that comfortable outside post, Keith. I absolutely agree with that. You talk about the potential speed in the number 2, Meet Me at the Beach from Mario Saray. Andre Chavez, there we go. Light bulb on with the weight off at 10 to 1 on the inside. I could definitely see that.
Yeah, has some okay races sprinting on the grass. The blinkers went on, 4 races ago. Had an excuse the last time this horse ran on the turf. Was bumped around at the break into a pretty good flow, 22 and change, 44 and change. Just couldn't make that impact, but went evenly. Okay, quit worse than I thought last time out, no doubt about it. But I think here, you're right, it's all systems go with the Bug Rider.
And then, of course, you include the number 3, Mello Panini B, Susan Cooney, and Jean Brusino at 2 to 1.
Yeah, another one, turning back. This is what this one needs, a little drop in class. I think this one's going to sit and just ride that inside trip and work out through the lane. Brusino does a good job riding like that. He works out some good trips on horses at prices.
He's been, and you took the words right out of my mouth, delivering some good prices with Brusino throughout these last couple of weeks, and Keith Fusel goes 9-2-3-7 in race number 3. Race number 4 is an allowance optional, but it also starts the Rainbow Pick 6. We have a carryover from yesterday, just to tick over $6,000. That'll be up to maybe about 7 or 8 by the time we get to race number 4. Let's take a quick look at my ticket and see what I've got going on. 4 and 5 wide in these first couple of legs in the 4th and 5th. 2 deep, and I go races 6 through 8. I'll dive into this a little bit more as we get in later in the afternoon. You'll have plenty of time. And then race 9, I single. $32 ticket, but a couple of these races, Keith, have to go wide, like this race in the 4th. This is an allowance optional 62.5. Going a mile on the dirt for the straight 2-year-olds. Scratch a part of the coupled entry in the number 1 War Master. And Keith, you go with the 1A Speediness, who I have just right underneath, will be breaking from the outside 11 post for Jamie Ness and Jamie Rodriguez.
Yeah, the blinkers went on, and that was the key. And this one was kind of eager to the lead and was able to go through pretty fast internals and keep going. I think this one's stretching out to the mile. The positioning out here, I really liked War Master. I'm ready to watch that one run again. Scratched here, unfortunately. He was going to be my top selection. But he had a potent entry. We're going to go with this one, 1A, that stays in. There's speed in its blinkers on the key last time. I think we'll handle the extra furlong. I don't think, if anybody wants to go ahead and go, great. This one will be able to sit just outside of them.
What about the Dingo Ate You Baby? Because that one showed some speed going the mile distance in the past for Brittany and Sheldon Russell.
The Dingo Ate Your Baby.
Thank
right?
you.
You know
Thank
where
you
that's
for that.
from, don't you?
Tell me.
You don't know?
Here's the
Come
thing,
on.
I do, but right now I'm
Elaine
on.
Bennis from Seinfeld? I
See,
thought you would have remembered that one.
We've had this discussion though. I just haven't gotten back on the Seinfeld education kick. So we've had the discussion. No. I just have not been doing my homework yet.
But anyhow,
yes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I had to run into Copper Tax last time. But you're right. It's been route all from the get-go for this one. Improving figures, Russell, definitely. Company lines, yes. I think we'll sit a great trip from just off of it down inside and work out a trip from the top of the lane to the wire. Kings River is another one on the improve. Linda Albert runner, I thought just gave up way too much ground last time, but I don't really think it was his fault. He was down inside in that field going 7/8 of a mile. Sometimes it's just a tougher break. They come out of there. If you're not completely focused out of the rail hole, out of one hole going 7/8 or even the mile here, sometimes you find yourself with way too much to do. This horse visually finished up quite well behind Speediness. I like this one as well. Notion of Love. You're looking for that hammy value? Yeah. There you go. Another one that had some trouble 2 races back. Big effort. Gets the maiden breaking job last time. A little bit of a slower time, but it was a little slower track that well. So that's a little bit deceiving. I think this one's going the right way for Hammy.
And there we have it, 1A, 3, 6, 10, and I will be back on the Seinfeld education for the future. As we go to race number 5, this starts off the late pick 5 here. For an allowance on the turf for the 3-year-olds and up, scratching the 1, 4, 6, 13, and 14. The 12 and the 11 stay in. Keith, you have the number 2 in City Fever from Mike Trombetta, Victor Carrasco. Let's go ahead and take a look at that last win at Saratoga. Yeah,
it was good. The maiden breaking score, only one on the page, but all good races. City Fever this particular day showed a little bit more speed from debut. Debut had a little trouble out of the gate, a little bump around, but look at this. Look how tenacious this one is through the final furlong. The internals were sharp, tried to stretch out at the mile, lack of Lasix, everything, but stayed on quite well to mid-stretch, and then the synthetic try was a good one there. I think turning back in distance, you look at the company lines, this horse has faced the right kind. I've got the horse 2-back or the 3-back races come back to win a couple starts later with an 86. So good company lines for City Fever. Going to make this first try here over the Laurel Turf Course. I think we'll sit a great trip. There's definitely some speed to the outside. I think horses might just want to go. I think Carras will get this one to settle and finish.
Are you kind of running the race through this horse? And just touch quickly on your underneath horses in the 5, 3, and 10. But is your main focus in this race going to be the number 2?
I think he's obviously Tidewater's run well. A couple of these horses have run very good races. I just think this one has some serious talent. I think 5.5 is just perfect for him. The way this stretch is and everything, the setup that he's going to get. I envision him getting a very good trip. Obviously scratches, it's going to hurt our price here with the 2 City Fever. I think Tidewater back with Sheldon works well. A good effort. Fun Notion just behind that one came back to win clear in that State Bred's allowance. This one's done nothing wrong sprinting on the turf. And you look at Great Idea as well. You're getting 8-1 on the morning line. Crispin, not a rider you're going to, that I think is going to hold some value there from that standpoint. This one's okay. This horse likes sprinting on the turf. Might even show a little bit more speed. That was a turn back last time. Against the field, you'd say, it's a 40 claimer, condition claimer. But I tell you what, Ranger Fox, that 3rd place finisher, had been competitive in 2 other events up in New York. So don't let that fool you. Great Idea is another one I think that works here to make that run. It's a good race. I'm anxious to see the City Fever though, see what kind of talent he's got.
Exactly. So while I understand the talent that City Fever does have, this is why I went wide with all of the horses that are below us on screen. And as Keith goes specifically 2, 5, 3, 10 for the 5th race, and we will be right back to talk about the 6th race, the rest of Friday's card and that jackpot Super High 5.
Thoroughbred Racing is taking vital steps to make our sport safer. These include the use of independent veterinarians, strict anti-doping and medication controls, and a single national authority empowered to create uniform standards and enforce reforms. With each step, more data is gathered, accountability demanded, and progress made as safety takes the lead. Visit ntra.com/safety for more.
And we're back here for the rest of Friday's card here in race number 6. Starts off the jackpot super high 5, of course, nice little touchy carryover. That'll be up from that 5,842 by the time we get to race number 6. And it is in this claiming 25,000 for the 3-year-olds and up, which have never won 3. Going a mile and 16th for the girls. Scratch in the 7, 9, keep in the 12, and then scratch the 13, 14, 15, and 16. Keith, you go with Lakeside Getaway on the outside. And this is in the barn of Mike Trombetta, Horacio Caramanos.
Yeah, Caramanos goes here for Trombetta. Diva Reddy, who he also was named on, I thought has a big shot in here. But maybe, we'll see if we can get Trombetta back-to-back winners as well. But maybe Lakeside Getaway's just kind of figured everything out right now. She's just getting good at the right time. Her last 2 were really sharp. At Colonial, she won very easily. You go back and look at that. She rated off of a horse, made another move, and was confidently handled all the way to about mid-stretch. And then last time out, the internals weren't super strong, but she was able just to control things. And you look at the energy level through the wire, that last 1/8 of a mile, it was good. So she's going to try to go back through this and get through this 3-in-life condition. I think she can. I think she's got a good draw, and you're thinking 12 posts really tough. But when you look at the race, how it's going to set up, I think as long as she doesn't get hung 5 wide into the first turn, I'm not going to mind 3 wide. I think she can draft right into a stalking position and bring a finish from the 3/8 pole home. So I'm going to look at Lakeside Getaway. We've got, 92 on the line there.
You also go with Corinna in your exact, and Michael Matz. Sheldon Russell gets the call on this one.
Yeah, if you're looking maybe for the best finisher in the race and you're looking for a horse to finish, I think it's going to be Corinna with Sheldon Russell. 2 back, was almost a little bit confidently rated, overconfident. I don't want to say it like that, but sat there chilly till about the quarter pole, and things kind of got away from her from the head of the lane. The leader just kind of spurred away. Then she swung out from behind horses and closed up quite well. Last time out, an overland trip. Now she's inside. I think she's going to sit back. She doesn't have a ton of true speed. She might need a little bit more help up front, but I think she's going to be in a little bit better position quarter pole. And if anybody brings that flourishing run, I think it's going to be her, maybe even Mary Jane Crome, because I don't think this is a terrible step up for her with Forest Boys.
As Keith Fusto goes 12, 3, 10, 1. Do you have any particular ones that you love underneath in the 10 and the 1?
No.
Okay.
I mean, Diva Reddy, I think, is going to sit another great trip. She works. There's no doubt about it. You look at her races. I think the biggest key for her, it's the last 70 yards or so. I think she's going to be right forward. I think she's got the flow. I kind of maybe see this race a little bit like the 13 Takeo yesterday, where I thought those speeds would just kind of control it. It could definitely happen here with a horse like Lakeside Getaway, Diva Reddy. Those two could go a long way up on the front.
12, 3, 10, 1 for Keith Fusto there in race number 6, our jackpot super high 5 with a nice carryover over $5,000. Race number 7 is an allowance optional 62.5 going a mile on the dirt for the straight 2-year-old fillies. Keith, you have the number 9 on top, Kissed by an Angel on the outside for Joanne Schenkel, and Angel Cruz, who had 3 winners yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, this one's just getting good. I mean, she's up and up off the claim. I thought she ran very credibly, and no shame in just kind of making that move and giving, not even really giving way. Ronan Goddess was just too good that day, and Ronan Goddess came back and had a tough trip in the stake. But Kissed by an Angel, you're looking at the bottom side, looking at the breeding. For a 1-turn mile, it works beautifully. This mare was good, Angel in the Morning. 3-time winner at the 1-turn mile. I think Kissed by an Angel just kind of prompts that issue. She's looked good on the racetrack. I think she's a stayer against this group. Obviously, Venomous Vixen was impressive in debut. She didn't face the likes of Kissed by an Angel. Let's see, second time out, if she can get it done. If there's any little hiccup and chink in the armor sometimes with Brittany, and it is not railing it really at all, 3 for 26 with 2-year-old maiden winners last out. With the debut winners the last couple of years, 2 for 11. So we'll see, but she looked good. We've got video of Venomous Vixen's debut, and it was you kind of see a horse go off out of her barn at 7-2. You're kind of shocked when they went off by 11. That shouldn't happen. But Jay Rivers, I believe, was a firster for Delacour that took some play, bet down to 5-2. But look at this move. I mean, this is one where maybe I could have. Nah, seriously, doubt it.
I
There's
love that.
no way.
I love that.
There's no way. But just
come
cruises
on,
up
Keith.
4 deep to the 5/16, and it looks like a workout. Looks like a good size filly, right? Look
She
at
is,
that big
yes.
bone.
She's
I
got
mean,
a little bit of
she's-
heft to her.
Yeah,
Especially
no
if you
doubt
look
about
at her legs look awesome.
Don't want to get in a fight with this one. And this is over right here. Katie bar the door, going to widen by 11, geared down the last few yards. But, I mean, he's into her. He's riding her there. So was she going to go much faster? Probably not. But, man, she really relished that 7/8. That's not an easy thing to do first time out. So there's serious talent there. Call another play. You're looking at the breeding there. Past this prelude was a sprint. But there is in the family horses that have done okay going longer. I think this one is going to be dangerous. On the front, can go a long way here for Trombetta. Continental Congress is the one that's the half sister that was able to kind of get the mile and a 16th on the dirt for Mike.
And there we have it, 9, 4, 10, 6 for Keith Fusel there in race number 7. Race number 8, our penultimate race of Friday's card here is an allowance optional 62.5 going a mile on the turf for the 2-year-old fillies. It's just been a day of 2-year-olds today here. Let's go ahead and take a look at your top selection in the number 4 Parish Lane for Michael Matz. Gets JV and Toledo here today.
Yeah, I like this race. It's a good race overall. And Parish Lane, little hiccup there out of the gate in debut for Matz. Bet down about 5-1, a little over 5-1 in a big field. So off a little in the air, I guess you would say. And Barbosa does a good job of settling this filly. He just kind of takes her back a little bit, a little keen to go. But he gets her back and he gets her out in the clear. By the time they hit the backstretch, I'm a little worried when you see 4 wide, though. You go 4 wide. Usually I want to kind of see the horses maybe move up under some cover. But she makes this move, tries to go through a seam, 3/8 pole coming up. You're going to see her just kind of lose her momentum right there. Kind of a slight steady, gives up a length or two. And then she just kind of loses her focus because he's riding her. And all of a sudden, she just kind of drops back almost to last.
Checked out.
Yeah, so lost the focus. But, boy, gets back into her. Watch this move. She's going to kind of work up in between horses, angle off heels, showing that fight and determination. Can't miss her with the white blaze, right? The big
Chestnut
white face.
filly,
yeah.
hello.
And look at this, leveling off beautifully through the last furlong. Parish Lane, when you're looking at the breeding, she's from the family of Stolen Holiday, multiple graded stakes type, master of hounds. So it's there. They both ran the same day, Parish Lane and Supernut Coca. Supernut Coca on the same turf course as well, the same rail setting, was a tick faster, but had a dream trip. Let's see. I do still think this 5 is going to get the jump, but Parish Lane, I'll take a shot right back. Might get a touch better price. We'll see. I think that the money's going to probably be evenly spread between the 4, 5, and 7. But the 5's race last time out was very, very good. After a couple trips out of town, Colonial and Churchill put it all together, never looked like a loser, and had something left going through the wire on October the 20th. So these two, tough for me to separate. I think Scorpia, who you've got in the mix as well, was very impressive in debut. Came down for Mark Salvaggio, professional score, inside-out trip, got it done, and didn't look like your prototypical, kind of a one-run sprinter either. I think she had some size to her. She kind of reached. A little bit of an awkward action, but she covered the ground well. I think she's going to be forward in a good stalking trip here today.
She will. That really is in her breeding to suit that late charging sprinting action. And then the number 7 as well, Flowers for me.
Yeah.
Back in the Chelsea Flower, the horse who was second next time out or competed previously in a grade 1 and kind of held up their own. So there is a little. I'm going to be interested to see what the number 7 brings, as far as if there's any value, if that one has any more, if the number gets up any more. I mean, I would definitely throw some money at that one. Yeah,
the 7, he's got 2-1 on the line. She's going to take play. That's the kicker. She ran that big race at 17-1. And then she doesn't run bad at 22-1 at Chelsea Flower. I think that was a Schoenthal horse that pulled that upset there that day. Now you come back. Do you want to take her? At 2-1, 9-5, 5-2, something like that.
Right.
Maybe we can get a little bit more value with the 4 and 5. We'll see. I'm going to key around these two that have the two big
Impressive
recent runs.
finishes.
Yeah, both of them. Yep. Good.
Absolutely. 4-5, 2-7 for Keith Fusel there in the 8th. Race number 9 is a maiden claiming 12-5, going 7 furlongs on the dirt again, for the straight 2-year-old filly. Scratch in the 1A, Now I'm Here. Scratch in the 11, Renee's 6. Keith, you and I both have the number 10 on top. It starts now for Brittany Russell, JV, and Toledo.
Yeah, and this is when you just kind of raise the flag, and that's it. I mean, I looked at this field. There's nothing I could really take. She's got a little bit of an edge. You've got 2 horses that were bought for some decent money, okay money, $45,000, and the 8 horse for $77,000. Did I read that right?
You did.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Yes.
And a lot. Well, maybe not for some, but for me, it is. But so in the angle and Brittany with this kind of stable, yeah, the works aren't tremendous, but I think you've got a firster in the family that has won. I'll take a shot here. I default to the 10. It starts now. I can't really give you anything super strong in the nightcap.
Okay, there we have it. 10, 8, 1, 9 for Keith Fustel there in race number 9. In our finale, let's go to the lightning round and dive a little deeper into these. Let's start with your value play of the day here. In race number 3, the number 9, Candy Arcade at 6-1 for Justin Nixon and Sheldon Russell.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're going to lose a little bit of price here because of the scratches. The 4 and the 5 are coming out. The 4 I thought was going to take a little bit of play, 10-1 on the line. But Candy Arcade, I like that race last time out. A little bit of drop in class. Good, solid middle move into a good flow there. Just to fade the last 3/16. Turning back in distance for a trainer that does very well with her sprinters. I'm going to take my shot at Candy Arcade. I think we're going to end up probably in that 3 or 7-2 range when it's all said and done.
Okay, then let's talk about another potential best bet of the day in race number 5 in the number 2, City Fever at 5-2 for Mike Trombetta and Victor Carrasco.
It just hasn't done anything wrong. And looking at how those other horses that he faced in New York have come back to run, I give him a slight edge. I think he's showing some serious talent. I think he's going to be inside, tracking, and bringing that finish. Tidewater definitely scares me. Great Idea scares me. Code Name ran really big sprinting 2 races back. Found the route a little bit too tough, but I'll key around the deuce right there in race number 5.
And let's just touch in. I mentioned earlier that we had just a couple of trainers and jockeys who had some wins. Rudy Sanchez Solomon getting 2 wins yesterday bumps him up from that tie from the Mike Trombetta, Kieran McGee, and it was Rudy. Now Rudy just got 2 wins, kind of bumped himself up, sitting behind Brittany Russell and Jamie Ness, who are tied at 21 wins. And then for the jocks, we have Angel Cruz, who won 3 yesterday. Let's see how the jockey standings look here today. And there we have it. Angel Cruz bumping up from 221. Sitting behind is okay. So things are good. Jamie Rodriguez was kind of really smoking him, but Javian Toledo just stealthy, sneaky, getting these 30 wins, these kind of 3-win days, 4-win days, all par for the course for Toledo.
Absolutely, those top 3. It's going to be maybe tough for Angel Cruz to kind of get past those, but he's riding well. So it's going to be a good battle to the finish for those jockeys.
And we'll see how that ends up for the fall meet as we continue on in through fall. Of course, Thanksgiving is next week, and we will touch a little bit more on that. But right now, we'll leave it to Dave Rodman for some more changes and scratches here for Friday's card.
All right, good luck, everybody.